I wonder what's your theology of prayer? If prayer feels important to your inner life, do you know why you pray? And more importantly, do you know what you're hoping for? For some people of faith, cause and effect are inextricably linked. I will pray for so-and-so or such and such a situation in the explicit hope that my prayer will have a direct effect on the situation and for the better. The problem for me is that I've prayed in that way on many occasions throughout my life, and the outcome I'd longed for didn't happen. The child died. The country was invaded. The situation followed its inevitable and tragic course. So why bother praying? And why, for instance, bother setting up this prayer station here in the cathedral, focusing on the tragic and awful situation in Israel and Gaza? If God, after all, doesn't act in the world, why bother setting up a prayer station? My first and simplest answer is that it simply feels essential. It's part of me which I cannot deny, to stand before God with people, situations, places in my heart. I don't do it with the expectation that unless I do it, God won't act, because my second answer is, of course, God does act constantly in the world in an endeavour of creative and divine love and possibility. Through men and women of goodwill, patiently building invisible structures of self-giving love, taking the divine risk, God is constantly at work in the world. Entering into situations of unreconciled suffering with inexhaustible divine compassion, which is the intersection of the cross. My third answer is that don't ask me how, but prayer is part of that divine energy. Prayer is part of the divine relationship, conversation, and endeavour. We, in prayer, plug ourselves into the divine outpouring of compassion, of suffering, and of hope. And like any relationship, or any conversation, or any loving presence, our prayer is essential. Our longing is honest. And like the cross, our solidarity of witness has two sides, both practical action, generosity, compassion, companionship in practical ways, and the other side of the coin is our prayer, which is our silent, attentive, faithful, honest presence. And that is crucial. Our prayer is a candle in the darkness. It's a longing. It's a cry for peace and healing. And we place our prayers into the deep and dazzling darkness, which is the inexhaustible love of God. The Welsh priest and poet R.S. Thomas, to whom I often turn for help in times like this, in his poem Adjustments, puts it like this. Patiently with invisible structures he builds, and as patiently we must pray, surrendering the ordering of the ingredients to a wisdom that is beyond our own. Let the deaf men be helped. In the silence that has come upon them, let some influence work to open those closed porches. Let the bomb swerve. Let the raised knife of the murderer be somehow deflected. There are no laws other than the limits of our understanding. Remembering rock penetrated by the grass blade, corrected by water, we must ask rather for the transformation of the will to evil, for more loving mutations, for the better ventilating of the atmosphere of the closed mind.